Let's go ahead and get started. So let's jump back to the subject. Thanks again for being with me, you guys. Sorry, bear with it. Hopefully it's not too awful that you have to deal with it. But really quick, I just want to go through some concepts. And like I was saying, obviously facing this with a lot of coaching clients to agents that I've been meeting with. I met with a team yesterday that is struggling with these concepts. And so really just want to talk to specifically our schedule and what a schedule should look like. And this doesn't matter whether you're in real estate, whether you're in title, whether you're a mortgage officer. Heck, sales is sales, you guys. Jim Rohn will often say life is sales. It just depends on what product we're selling. And so I always will talk to this is the schedule is the most important thing that we have, right? And I want you guys to write this down because I think a lot of agents get scared or I guess what's the word? Maybe neglect the fact or the idea that we should be following a schedule, especially when we're salespeople. And so looking into this is really, I want you to write this statement down because it was great for me, is your schedule is something that has to become a habit, especially when you're self-employed. Okay, your schedule is something that has to become a habit, especially when you're self-employed. And one of the things that we talk to in regards to that is, look, we all got into this business or we all get into sales, whatever form it is that you're doing in this industry. We all got into sales because we want flexibility and freedom, or we want our ability to be our own boss. That's great. But one of my mentors early on told me that freedom equals discipline. The more discipline you actually have, the more freedom you're actually going to have in this business. And really in life in general, right? And so I want to take us through just quickly 4 things specifically that George and John have said for years that should be in our schedule, okay? Well, they say 3, I add 4 because I think the 4th one is the most critical one. So the first one we're going to talk to is making sure that you're practicing, okay? In the sales industry, we often think that it's not our responsibility to practice our scripts. However, I know there's a group of them. In fact, there were some that were here still when I walked in this morning, is practicing our scripts. I don't know for those of you who know me very well, but I am a huge football fan. And I often will relate to the statistic in football. And that is that every football player in the professional NFL has to practice for 60 minutes for 1 minute of playing time on the field, you guys. 60 minutes, okay? What makes you think that if you want to be a professional in your industry that you don't have to practice? I want you to ask yourself that. How committed you are to your practice in becoming the professional in this industry, okay? Number 2 is that obviously we need to prospect. Again, I often will talk to this and people hate the word prospect. You guys, we're in the industry, we're in the sales industry. If you're got into real estate and your broker didn't tell you when you first got in, like mine didn't, I hate to break it to you, it's a sales industry. Our job is to prospect. If you like the word or not, maybe it's talk to people, maybe it's, you know, have conversations, whatever floats your boat, whatever speaks your truth. But our job is to talk to people, right? And then the third thing is making sure that we're presenting, or essentially that we're going on appointments, okay? So if we're presenting and making sure that we're going on appointments on a daily basis, it should be our goal every single day that we have an appointment to attend. Right? Whether it's with the listing side or with the buyer side, you should have a goal every single day that you are meeting it with at least one client. And then the 4th thing, and this is the most critical one, I believe, you guys, is making sure that you're doing your lead follow-up. Okay? And I'm going to put here to say, I believe that the majority of your business is going to be done in your lead follow-up. 85% of your business will be done in your lead follow-up. I know Russ has spoken to this about me before, but most will call me the pit bull with lipstick when it comes to lead follow-up. But that's because I know that that's where my business will come from, right? It's, yes, prospecting, but yes, lead follow-up. Couple key things on these 4 points that I want to talk to. If you really want to go above and beyond, if you're looking to go past that goal of 25 transactions, if you're looking to do 100 deals, if you're looking to just start and do 12 transactions, you guys, one of the things that I would encourage you on, and I talked to some agents in California about this, is truly treat your prospecting and your lead follow-up as 2 totally different things. Totally different things, you guys. We get in the habit that we will prospect and do lead follow-up. Agents are so guilty of this, that we'll follow up, and that's our prospecting today. That's not prospect, you guys, okay? You need to treat your prospecting time as your true blue, hey, this is new prospecting hours. I'm going to make sure that I go after the business. Meaning, if you really want to supersede your goals from the year before, take that time to make sure you're prospecting new business and not just doing lead follow-up, okay? Lead follow-up, however, like I said, will be 85% of your business. So you do need to make sure that it's in your schedule on a daily basis, especially if you're a real estate agent, right? Or any type of the sales side of it, you have to make sure lead follow-up is in your schedule on a daily basis. Okay, one of my mentors has said that if you have white space in your schedule, whether it's in your business or whether it's in your personal life, you're asking to say hello to the devil, okay? I'm going to say that again because it was profound when I heard it, but especially in business. If you have white space in your calendar, you are like saying hello to the devil when it comes to business. Why? Because we're all guilty of it, right? We are all guilty of it. We allow the God a minute, or I like to call it the drinking fountain conversations, or I don't know, we go to the gym because we have nothing else to do during the day. You guys, schedule it out, make it a plan. If you want to succeed, anybody who is successful has a plan and a schedule in place. They say the two things that most people will fail at in sales is they don't have a business plan to push them, and they don't have a schedule in place. Okay, so I'm going to use some techniques today, but more importantly, I want to speak to another concept that we use here at Everest. And there's three things that we always will talk to. And for those of you who have been here for years, you know what they are, right? And it's your relationships, your finances, and your health. Okay, so if we really go back to this concept of we need to have discipline in our schedule, but we also want the flexibility and freedom. Every agent that I talk to, you guys, wants the flexibility and the freedom so they can have a better lifestyle for their family, right? We're all in sales so that we can spend more time with our kids, or determine what our schedule is going to be, or be able to, take a week off. I was talking to an agent yesterday who, is getting into real estate, and she wants 7 weeks off because she's from Sweden, and she's used to them mandating her having 7 weeks off, right? So those things can happen in our business. Now, is making sure that you're preparing yourself so that those things can happen. Okay, so when we talk to relationships, whether it's your intimate friends, family, us, your clients, spiritual for a lot of people, right? Your finances, is it your ability to pay the bills, or is it the cash flow for investments and being able to live a life of opportunities, not choices? Okay, I always will speak to that one specifically. Make sure you have your business plan in place. You guys, if you haven't sat down with your broker yet, do it now. Schedule it today, because it is the second half of the year. I hate to be the Debbie Downer, but you have 6 months left of the year, right? So make sure you're setting a second half year plan in place with your brokers. Okay, and then the last one is health. I'm a big believer physical is a big portion of it, because if I'm not taking care of this person, I can't possibly be at the levels I'm capable of being mentally and emotionally for other people, right? And so make a plan to take care of yourself. Make a plan to get in the gym. I mean, I hate to say this, but you guys want to avoid the corona? Take care of your health, right? Those are the things that we want to make sure that we're paying attention to. So real quickly, I want to jump into this because I want to show you guys my screen here. Give me 1 second. And we're going to jump into a schedule so that you guys can really see how this is possible and can take place. Okay, so if we talk to these 4 things specifically to what we've addressed here, is I will often use the Google Calendar when I'm speaking with my clients. And the Google Calendar is very critical because, one, it allows you to grow. So if you're an agent who's looking to add an assistant, or somebody who's looking to add, more agents to your roster, things like that, this allows you guys to really work and be productive, okay? So I want you to kind of look at this Google Calendar, and I want you guys to just really see how there's an opportunity here that if you're actually scheduling out your schedule, it's pretty easy to dictate it, right? So for me, you guys, never a day in my life did I think that I would be going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? And as you can see there, the gym is part of my schedule. Now, I did a kind of a agent schedule, so I took an example of a schedule here for you guys, but wanted to really look at this. If you look over here on the left-hand side, you have multiple calendars where you're able to actually use and create multiple calendars. This is highly beneficial, you guys. So if I talk to those three pillars, you can see I have my personal schedule. I have what I call my money-making time, right? So it's in green because prospecting is where we make our money. You guys, these four things we just talked to are our income-producing activities, right? So, and then the next one is my appointment schedule. Now, we'll often say if you're a real estate agent, if you are not on an appointment, you should be working on a system, okay? And then the next one is my non-negotiables. So you can see here, if I were just to give a standard schedule, right, as a real estate agent, is our goal is that 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I'm role playing. If you haven't joined in on the role plays here at Everest, every morning, Rick and Ruby, our phenomenal brokers, are leading that out for you guys. So from 7 to 8, the role play is happening. Okay, my practice, essentially, you guys. Then the next meeting, 8 o'clock to 8:45. Those of you who are on the call, thank you, because obviously you guys have this in your schedule. But I always will say, so we're going skill set, mindset, getting in that right mindset, right? So skill set, practicing everything that we need to do. Then the next thing is making sure that we're in that right mindset for the day. Again, being who we need to be for our clients, because it can take as easy as you getting cut off on the way to the work or the office that you're not in the happiest mood, right? Or you get that phone call. You know, I'll often use the example of the late Dave Stocco, for those of you who know him. You know, I remember one day that I was hosting Morning Ascent. John and George, of course, spun it on me 5 minutes before it happened. And I was in front of the room doing affirmations. And Dave walked in and he was not in the greatest mood. And I could tell because of his body language. Lo and behold, by the end of the conversation, he shared his gratitudes. And one of his gratitudes was that he had just found out that one of his family members had passed away on his way to the office. You guys, afterwards, I went up and gave my condolences. And the man was a machine. Guess what he was doing from 9 to 11? Prospecting. You guys, I know to the extreme of examples, but that morning meeting and making sure that we're setting our mindset up correctly, right? Being who we need to be so that even in the toughest times, we can do what we know we have to do despite on how we feel, right? George always says that. Quit doing things based on how you feel and do what you know you should be doing. So from 9 to 11, you can see on this calendar, you're going to be prospecting, okay? I have a little statement that the phone makes me money. Right? If I'm prospecting, I always go, the phone makes me money. The phone makes me money. That's my affirmation. Because if I don't want to get on the phone makes me money. Or I'm asking myself, what intention, right? What intention am I getting on this phone call with? Am I here to impact somebody's life, or I'm just here to hit my contacts? Do not get contactitis. Make sure that you're setting that intention before you're getting on the phone as well. Then you can see from 11 to 12, lead follow-up, right? Making sure you're doing your lead follow-up. That's also, as you can see, if I were to click on this, sorry you guys, my computer's a little bit slow, but it's also my time for my admin. You have to make sure you schedule your time. There's often a statement said that in sales, if you guys haven't read it, there's a great book. It's called Miracle Morning, right? There's also one specific for real estate agents. It's called the Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. If you haven't read it, get the book. One of my favorite things is just making sure that you understand if we protect, prospecting's on my mind. If we protect the moment we wake up till 12 o'clock noon, we're going to be that much more successful, you guys. But the challenge with most real estate agents is they don't schedule it. Okay, the challenge with most real estate agents is they don't schedule it. Okay, and then as you can see, of course, I have my lunch hour that's scheduled there. You guys, you have to take care of yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be who you need to be for other people. We, especially in sales, have a habit of working through our lunches. Make sure that you're taking the time for yourself. Okay, and then more importantly, you can see here, we will talk to our time slots for appointments or back on systems. So George will often say, and he said this for years, that 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 5 o'clock should be your scheduled appointment slots. And then allow yourself for twice a week a 7 o'clock appointment, meaning you'll allow yourself that late afternoon appointment, right? But also not doing it more than twice a week, you guys, so that you really can have that balance that we talk about. There's a great business plan and a great schedule for real estate, but then also making sure that you have those three pillars that we often talk about here at Everest, and making sure that you have that balance. As you can see, right, you would make sure that you're scheduling time with your kids. I have coaching clients who use the distractions of the kids. You guys, you don't have to do that, right? Or you can have your date night. Make sure it's scheduled in your calendar. This is an ongoing event for me, right? If I were using this calendar specifically, okay? You can set them up so they're reoccurring. So a couple things on this I just really want to share with you is if I have an agent who has assistants, you can come in here and share certain calendars with your clients or your team. So I may not share with them my personal schedule, but I may share with them, right, my appointment slots, meaning if they can't go on an appointment, but I have an opportunity or an appointment slot available, they could go in and schedule that for myself. Or you guys, better yet, for all of us in the industry, share your personal schedule and time slots available for your family. Give access to it for your kids. Give access to it to, you know, your husband, your spouse, your significant other. Make sure that those things are happening. Sorry, guys. And really dive into this. A little bit different when you're trying to work from the computer as well as being on it. So just really, I want you guys to see why I'm showing you this is I want you to see that it's possible to schedule out your calendar. However, what happens is because you don't have the appointment slots, you're not going to schedule an appointment. I loved it when my coach taught me this, that having that appointment slot, it almost created a competitiveness in me. I have a spot available. Well, I better fill this in. I better get it filled, right? Those are things that we should really be looking at. But then also, I really want you to look at this. Now, we speak to an ideal schedule. We've spoken to having your time slots blocked out so that you're actually doing it. One of the things that I want you guys to see is, let's just say, for an example, I have that out-of-state buyer, or I have that meeting that has to happen at 9 o'clock in the morning. My whole goal is I'm going to try my best to protect that prospecting time. However, after that, then what I can do is I can move these. And why I love Google Calendar, you guys, I'm very visual, so this has worked for me. It works for most of my clients, even my drivers, okay? But what we'll do is, let's just say that prospecting time doesn't work. I can, oh, it's not going to let me. I can drag and drop this. Well, you guys, for those of you who have used a Google Calendar, I could drag and drop that 9 o'clock to that 1 o'clock appointment slot and move that appointment slot up to the 9 o'clock. Does that make sense? For all of you guys watching, I just want you to understand that. Drag and drop. Make sure that income producing activity, that green block for me, never leaves my schedule. Okay, that lead follow-up slot, never leaving my schedule. If it's necessary, put it as a non-negotiable. I put in here, for an example, you have a coaching call. You're never going to miss your call with your coach, right? If they have a schedule, they're never going to miss that. If they're a professional in the business, they have you scheduled every week on the week at the same time, right? So do the same thing. If some of these things are going to be non-negotiable for you, you don't want to move them, put them in red. Get that thing going for yourself, okay? But really want you guys to see this, because we've spoken to the ideal schedule, the time blocking, being able to maneuver if you have to. Now, the whole goal is that if we protect our schedule 75% of the time, we're going to be that much more successful in the business, right? However, there are circumstances. There are going to be times where you have the kids early in the morning, or there are going to be times, like Rich said yesterday in our morning meeting, that he works super late, so he wants to push his day further to their start time, right? Just move those blocks, you guys, so you're not negotiating what's supposed to be happening on a daily basis. Okay, so just kind of going through this, and one of the things that I'll just say to that is, one of my mentors has always stated, your schedule is a habit. You have to create the habit, you guys. So one of the things that I want you to write down today is, your schedule is a revolving dock. Okay, real estate agents, especially my coaching clients, they'll get in the habit of beating themselves up because they didn't follow their schedule. If it doesn't work today, I just showed you how you can maneuver, how you can make it so that it would work. Now, our goal is to protect it as much as we can, but don't negotiate. Don't use the lame excuses. Tell yourself a better story. I now know how to time block my schedule, but I can actually maneuver and lead my income producing activities in my schedule. Never leaving the day. George used to say to us brokers and managers, you shouldn't be leaving the day without setting one appointment. For those of you that are in real estate, there's a goal that George always says, 30 contacts or 3 hours prospected or 1 appointment set. If one of those things hasn't happened, you have not done your job. Do not leave. If you don't have an appointment, be back on the phone prospecting or work on your systems. Use that time in that appointment slot to work on your systems. Don't use your prospecting time. Okay, I hope this really was helpful for you guys. I want you to see that your schedule can work. You can make it work. Not only can you make it work in business, but you can have that balance that we spoke to in the real estate business, in sales, where, again, title, mortgage, whatever you are. I know there's other individuals on here that are in sales as well. It doesn't matter. Sales is sales. But you have to run your schedule. Be that professional. I want to talk to you a few more things about this, because now that you have this, I want you to really understand I can run my schedule like a professional. I'll often give this example. You have a doctor. You call into the doctor, and they say to you, what works best for you, mornings or afternoons? Okay, I want you to write that statement down, and I want you to put it in your script. What works better for you, mornings or afternoons? Or if I'm a real estate agent, you might say afternoons or evenings, if you're really trying to protect your morning schedule, like we talked about. When you go to the doctor, you guys, he does not say, hey, what works best for you? No, he's a professional, right? He couldn't do that. He would never be able to run a professional business. He says to you, what works better for you, mornings or afternoons? Great. I have Tuesday at 1 o'clock, or I have Thursday at 3 o'clock. You guys, your clients, the only thing I want you to write down is that, number one, they want an option. Number two, us real estate agents are guilty of this, and other sales industries as well. Do not take ownership of your market. If the home is listed right, it's already gone anyway, if I'm showing buyers, okay? If it's priced right, it's already gone. So give the options. If I'm talking to a client and I say, hey, you know what, Ryan, I have Tuesday at 1 o'clock, or I have Thursday at 3 o'clock, what works better for you? And they say, you know what, we can't go till Thursday, fantastic. I'll go ahead and schedule that showing for 3 o'clock on Thursday. And you guys, if the home's gone, it's gone. Right? Don't take ownership of it, or you're never going to have the schedule that you want to live. You're never going to have that balance in life. But just remember, one of the things that I just showed, I showed you a script that says what works better for you, afternoons or evenings. I have this time or this time. I've given them two options, okay? Another thing that I want to point out to real estate agents. In life, our distractions happen, okay? We have our kids at home right now due to COVID. We have things that are happening. You know, you have an appointment that comes up that, you know, you can't miss. You have an anniversary. You have somebody's birthday party that you need to be to. But you have that client who wants to go show homes, or you have that client who wants you to come list the property at a time. If you don't schedule your personal life, you guys, you know just as well as I do in this business, it's never going to happen, especially when you become more busy and more efficient in sales, right? Because you're going to allow every client to take control of your schedule. I want you to remember one other thing. Your client, and write this down, does not have to know what your next appointment is. Your client does not have to know what your next appointment is. Meaning, if I say to them, hey, Ryan, yeah, Ryan's here with me, you guys, so I keep using him as an example. Hey, Ryan, I have Tuesday at 1 o'clock, or I have Thursday at 3 o'clock, and they choose Thursday at 3, my next statement is going to be, great, Ryan, I can show you properties from 3 to 5. I have another appointment at 5:30. They don't need to know by 5:30 is dinner with my family. They don't need to know that 5:30 is dinner with, you know, my significant other, or time with my kids. They don't have to know your appointment. Okay, I always struggled with this, and I still struggle with it at times. I know my significant other and my friends can tell you this, right? I still struggle with it at times. However, one of the things that I want you to remember is usually by doing that is because I'm not setting my expectations for my clients. Okay, so I know we've gone over a lot today. We've gone over time blocking. We've gone over showing you how you can maneuver to make sure that those income producing activities are happening. I've used some scripts so that you can really see how you can use this as a professional and not have to negotiate it. But more importantly, you guys, and I just want to point this out, you have to set expectations for your clients. And by using the scripts and telling them what times, you're going to do that. Okay? But you also have to set a standard for yourself. And when I say set a standard for yourself, decide for yourself what time you're going to be done every day. Let your clients know that. Talk to making sure, right, that they know you check out at 8:30. And that after 8:30, you're no longer available for them. Guess what, you guys? Usually those contracts can wait till next morning to write them. I know I'm guilty of this. I personally just had to do this. I had a referral from one of my clients who sent me somebody up here in Salt Lake, and I literally was working with this buyer, and I'm like, whoa, hold up, stop, coach myself, set the expectations, make sure they know I'll get back with them tomorrow morning, right? But you guys, I promise you, if you don't set the expectations, and especially if they become a referral, let's just say, for an example, I have that client, they now close the deal, I'm going after that past client opportunity of referral, and I negotiated my schedule all the time with this agent or this client, right? Guess what that new referral is going to expect me to do? The same thing. Okay, you guys, I know we've covered a lot today. I know that your schedule can sometimes be a scary thing for us real estate agents, but one thing that I will promise you, and this is, I'm guilty of it, and why I know this and why I've come up with the time blocking the way that I have, and make sure that I have even the appointment slot. If I don't have an actual appointment, I have that appointment slot, is because I was guilty of this, right? I was guilty of having the blank space in the schedule, or I was guilty of making sure that I was allowing the God minutes, the distractions, and not protecting it. The more you have it time blocked, the less likely those distractions are going to happen. I guarantee it. Okay, I promise you. So take some time today, take the weekend, get in your schedule. I know because of circumstances right now that we can't always dictate what next week's going to look like. Let's just be honest. Our mayors, our governors, whatever, right? They have the ability to change that on us in a minute. However, you can look at this. I have some coaching clients who are looking at it nightly to make sure they're scheduling in their kids and when they should schedule in their kids versus when they should be working for themselves. Another challenge that I would be just saying, are you setting expectation with your children so that they know when mom has to work, so that she can create the legacy that she wants to create for them, right? Are you tying them into the goals? Are you helping them see what's going to be possible by you actually making your prospecting calls so that you can do what you're supposed to do for them? Okay, that's another aspect of that, but really making sure that you're setting your expectations. I have clients who are looking at it nightly. I have clients who are looking at it every Sunday, and they're setting it up for the week at a time. Set it up. Don't go a day without setting up your schedule for the next day, because those distractions will happen. Those income-producing activities, you're going to negotiate them all day long if they're not in your schedule. I promise you. Okay, so whether you have to do it nightly, whether you have to do it weekly, I personally just set it up moving forward, and then I make the adjustments if I have to. Google Calendar is easy for you to do that. Take this weekend, you guys, set up a schedule. Set up yourself to succeed that much more, right? 70% of your time, they always will say in sales, if you don't have a business plan and you don't have a schedule, that's where most people will fail. So take the time, get with your coach, get with your broker, whatever you need to do to make sure you have your business plan, but take this weekend and set up a schedule where you can succeed, and hopefully you'll use this time blocking activity that we just went through. If any of you need my help, don't hesitate to call me. I am more than happy to jump on, help you with it. I promise you, it is a game changer. Schedule it out, you guys. Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you guys for being with me. I know we went over because of my mic issues. Hopefully it wasn't too bad as far as the echo goes. Let's do some closing affirmations.